Good morning, everybody in Obsessed. We have an amazing, epic human off to. I always do that. I always get confused. It's the other way. A wonderful lady. Her name is Karina Irby. She is an entrepreneur. She hails all the way from New South Wales, Port Macquarie, small little surfy town down in New South Wales. And she has an epic, whopping 1.1 million followers on Instagram. She is incredible and has been getting attention for all the right reasons recently when it comes to body shaming and people being mean basically online. Karina, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This is fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I love it. We get to know each other online, live, here.
I know.
So tell me, because we'll ask a few other questions later on. Tell me, there's something that sparked your recent attention and all the attention that you've been getting recently, because for those of the people that are watching, Karina, you have created in 2011, you created an amazing swimwear brand, right? Called Moana Bikini.
Yes, love it. It's my baby.
Literally with 1.1 million followers, you must be doing something right. And it's not just as simple as what you've done. You haven't just started a brand and decided to make some money. You've actually, I think, and I'm not sure if it was on purpose or not, but you're going to tell me, you've created a bit of a movement.
Well, I would like to think so, and I hope so. It's definitely my life mission.
So what spurred this on? What got you into the bikini game?
Yeah, I've always, just like a lot of little girls that grow up in little coastal towns, I was a surfer girl at heart, and I just had like a crazy obsession with swimwear. It was just my thing. Some girls like handbags, some girls like shoes. I liked bikinis. And, pretty much my whole teenage life, my parents and my friends were always like, oh, you're so cool, you should just start your own brand. And then finally, years later, I had that opportunity and I just jumped on it. And it really stemmed from just a little bit of a fire in my belly from just, wanting to reach out and do my own thing. And growing up with eczema and a lot of bullying, growing up, I felt really uncomfortable wearing bikinis. I would wear like full length wetsuits because I didn't want anybody to see my skin. I finally got to a time in my life where I was feeling more confident about wearing a swimsuit, and I wanted the younger girls to feel like me. So I'm like, well, maybe if I start up this swimwear brand and I promote it around feeling good and just embracing whatever you feel insecure about, maybe that could be something that would make me feel better. And it kind of, it worked, and it made me feel great, and it was making other people feel great, and it's just kind of kept going ever since.
Yeah, like spreading the right kind of virus.
Absolutely.
For me, as I'm listening to you talk, and it's so wonderful because I'm in the same boat, and we talk a lot about body shaming. What was it that made you just decide to go, no, I'm just going to own it and I'm going to fall in love with myself? What was it? Because I know it's such a big deal. There's all types of body shaming, not just for people that carry weight. There's skinny shaming, there's fat shaming, there's beauty shaming, there's ugly shaming, geek shaming. What was it that what was the turning point?
I just got mad, to be honest. Like, not just me getting attacked online for certain things and just, judgment on pretty much anything and everything I would post, but I was seeing it with other people that I follow as well, with, large platforms and small platforms. And I was just over it. And I was like, oh, you know what? I am just going to post a photo of myself unedited with my skin condition, and I'm just going to talk about it and see what happens, because A, I'm sick of hiding it. B, I'm sick of all these trolls online thinking that they can, talk crap about us, even when we think we're looking our best. And I'm just going to embrace my true self and see what happens. And I definitely got a lot more positive responses than negative. But of course I got negative, and of course I wanted to make an example out of them.
Yeah. I love you. I absolutely love you, because it's so those of you that have just seen, look at that. I actually just want to pop that back up on the screen again. Karina, seriously, and I've got covered in goosebumps. And I'm kind of I've been there. I used to get bullied all the time for being skinny and being an ironing board and all the rest of it. And, it's a tough gig. It's a tough gig.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and there was a thing that sparked it, right? I'm going to pop this up, because this is actually talk me through this.
I just want to say that I look so hot in this photo.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, so this really peed me off. Like I got this DM and I'm so sick of people sending these kinds of comments to me. Like they come across like they are being innocent and they're nice, but the way they word it, it's like, well, how do you want me to take it? And it irritates me because I'm quite a strong, confident person now, and that has come with age. But like if you sent that to the younger me, like when I was like, 19, 20, 21, like I would have taken that. Maybe I would have started skipping dinner, God knows what I would have been like at that young age. So I really wanted to make an example of that, because even if that person was coming from a good place, people need to stop and realize that sometimes those words can be taken out of context with however you meant to say it, and it can really damage somebody, and it's just really scary.
Yeah, and it actually does. And it really does. I mean, like, and especially because of social media, like you're getting, like, how do you handle it? You would cop. You get a lot of haters. I mean, you've clearly got a lot of lovers, but you get the haters too. How do you handle them?
I'm pretty good now. I actually almost enjoy it. I'm like, oh, bring it on. I've got you. Yeah, I mean, it used to really irritate me. Not so much get me like all sad and emotional, but I just used to think, who raised you and why do you think that this is okay? Like, how do you sleep at night? You're so annoying. But now I'm using it, I guess, as a superpower. I always like to say, like, if you've had a negative experience in life, or you've got a skin condition or whatever that might be that you see as a negative, you can turn that into your superpower, which is what I've done with my eczema. I like to preach about it and talk about it a lot. And that's what I'm doing with the bullies now, because I feel like hopefully it's going to give a lot of other people confidence to shoo it off, or to make an example of that person and to just basically have a laugh about it.
Yeah, because that's actually that comment that we were just looking at before, that was basically the comment, wasn't it? They were saying to you that, have you thought that maybe the reason you've got eczema or you've got a skin condition now is because you'd put on weight? I mean, how ridiculously insensitive of someone to even mess up. How can they even think that that's okay?
I don't even know how she thought that was nice. Like, I mean, to a certain degree, like, I kind of like, I mean, I can see maybe how she was trying to be nice, but at the same time, I'm like, what?
Yeah, but and what it does, and I love it because your response was,
I'll send you a fat photo, honey.
But this is it. I mean, seriously, you've just got to scroll through your feed, Karina, and you actually see, like, you're like your future goals for me. Like, I'm thin, I'm skinny, but I'm so conscious. Thank you, darling. I get so conscious of putting my body in a bikini. And I think that that's the movement that you've created, is that you've created not just a brand, but you've given people permission just to be fully themselves in a bikini. It doesn't matter if you've got rolls and we've all got it. Stretch marks, cellulite, we all have it.
And do you know what's funny? Like when a baby's first born and like when they start to put on weight and get all fat and they've got the rollies, everyone wants to like love and squish them. Why can't we keep that a little bit when we're in our, teen and adulthood? Like, tummy rolls are cute, right?
Yeah.
There you
go. And I mean, the media is responsible. Media is responsible because they're the ones that get to choose who gets the most attention, right? And Absolutely. I think, and that's mainstream media. So then obviously the miracle of social media has given people the ability to be able to find their own people. And that's what you've created. How did you do that? Did you just start uploading on Instagram and then it exploded, or?
Yeah. I think the reason I started to gain followers on Instagram was because I was posting just raw kind of pictures. And I think maybe as well, like, I think I posted my first raw picture maybe like 2 or 3 years ago now. And I think people at the time really liked it as well, because the body positive movement wasn't out there so much on Instagram back then. It was more like your pretty pics. So I think a lot of people just found that really relatable. And again, because I only talk about what I've experienced with it, which is eczema, and it's an extremely common, skin disease. So I feel like a lot of people were like sharing that, tagging their friends, their family, look, if she can do it, you can do it. And, I think that's how it all started. And to be honest, like, I would much rather post a silly video or a silly photo than like a pretty pic. I almost feel awkward posting a really pretty picture now. I'm like, oh, it's weird because like I posed it, I've got a filter on it. Like, it's cute, but it's like irrelevant.
Well, it doesn't fit with your sole purpose either. So as soon as you go, I do similar things because I talk a lot about human trafficking and child trafficking and things like that. So, like, I mean, you kind of get over it, don't you? You're like, oh yeah, you have the ability to post these photos that get this attraction, and I find it incredible the amount of traction I get when I'm considering what I'm looking like versus when I don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's actually annoying.
Yeah, I know, right? I totally understand.
So you just got to keep posting, and then you find the people that don't give a shit as much as you don't give a shit.
Exactly. Filter out those people. You don't need them.
Yeah. So how long have you been in business?
We started in 2011, so it's nearly a decade.
Wow, that is incredible. And you are 30, right? Although off air we're like 24.
24. Yeah. Dirty 30s, baby.
So what made you obviously decide to start the business? Was it, and I know that you said before, obviously, because you were obsessed with bikinis and everything else, like, because I know that you started studying sports science.
Yeah, it was just a 1-year diploma, nothing crazy. It was just sport management and exercise science. I grew up in one of those households where it was like, you finish school, you go to uni. And now that I've experienced that, I actually couldn't disagree even more. I'm just like, I feel like you need that personal time to figure out what you genuinely want to do. Because I went and did this diploma of only a year, and I mean, it was fun, but like, I definitely didn't want to do anything with it. So going through that diploma and living up on the Gold Coast, that's where I kind of was like, oh, you know what, like this swimwear thing could be really fun. And it wasn't actually up until I got let go at my just 9-to-5 job working at a surf shop. And I was like, you know what, screw it. I am just going to start my own swimwear label. My dad lent me $800, and yeah, the rest is history.
I love it. We've got very similar stories.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that fun? I love that.
It's so good, and good on you. Like, it's just so nice, and it's nice. And there's comments, people are actually saying that they're going to share this with their daughters, because not only are you out there just living your best life, being completely and utterly unashamedly yourself, you're also a very smart, switched on, savvy young lady.
Stop it. My head is going to... Can I get a neck brace, please? Sorry. Hold it up a little bit.
It's a good job we can't get you out the door. It's all good.
I know. I'll be stuck in here all day now. Thanks.
It's so nice, and it really is refreshing. So, do you do philanthropic work? Because I talk a lot about this and influence, and people that get such a huge following. It's very interesting to see what they're doing with their influence outside of making a brand, making the money, and which is very cool. P.S. That's amazing. But what are you doing outside of yourself, as in philanthropically?
Yeah, so we actually help raise money for Karinas Wildlife Hospital, which is actually just down the road from us. So my followers, they're just like me. You've got the crazy ones, but I also have these really amazing people as well. And they, like me, love wildlife. So Moana Bikini donates $6,000 a year to save a koala. And I also like to personally go visit the hospital and help raise awareness. So I like to go in there, and I know it's a little sad, but it's a very eye-opening, heartwarming experience to go in and, you know, just see what human impact is actually doing to our wildlife. You know, a lot of it is animals that have been hit by koalas that have been hit by cars. We've got some crazy koalas here in Australia. Just a lot of things, like a lot of birds that have unfortunately lost their homes due to construction, and little things like that. And even though, you know, we've created this, but there's still things that we can do to help the wildlife. So it is really fun to go raise awareness. I actually heard back from them the other day, because I just went to the hospital with my best friend, Michael Huxley, and we did the Instagram story together, and we received over 1,000 donations. So really, really cool.
Yeah, and this is what it warms my heart. I get goosebumps, because I'm like, I love finding people like you, Karina, and I know so many influencers and TikTokers and, you know, Instagrammers that have such a huge following, but you very rarely see what they're doing philanthropically, and it's kind of like feeds every now and then. But if you're passionate about supporting a charity, why not be super vocal about it?
Absolutely. And it's like with the sanctuary as well, they get some real celebrities in there, like Hollywood celebrities, and you'll see that they're lucky to maybe post one story and one picture. And to me, that really upsets me, because like you have millions and millions of followers that potentially engage with you every day. And like you're doing like not even the bare minimum to promote this wildlife hospital. So whenever I get in there, I'm like so passionate. I'm like, no, I want donations. I want people to see this. Like, I want everyone to see everything, because my platform's so small compared to some of these people. And I just feel like, imagine if everybody did that. with their desirable charity, it would just be amazing. Like if everyone just spared $1, I learned that $1 is one syringe, and that one syringe can save an animal. So it's really crazy.
Yeah. And look, I mean,
about it.
Yeah, you should. I like it.
I love them.
Yeah. And that's the point, right? You've got to have if you're not getting passionate about it, what's the bloody point?
Absolutely. You know? Like, even when I did that story the other day, that took me 3.5 hours to put together, write all the captions and do all the swipe out things. So I didn't finish that till 11 o'clock at night, but I don't care. And I don't get paid to do any of that either. I just do that because I want to, and I just want to help them. They're all such good people. They get no government help. And the least I can do is do that.
Well, I mean, that, and it really is, that's what it's all about. And there's so many ways that you can support. There's so many ways. If you can't afford to donate, and I get that. I totally get that. But there's ways you can support, and that's through supporting people like yourself, spreading your message, sharing your page, liking and following what you do so that you can find ways to kind of like raise up and get attention to the people that are actually able to do things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's more than one.
Just like what your shirt says.
Be a good human.
I love that so much. It's so simple yet effective. But some people really struggle with it, which is very mind-blowing.
It is. It's odd. And it's something that we live by. These are our shirts. These are Obsessed shirts. And it is all about just being a good human being. People forget what it takes to actually just be a good human.
I know. It's insane, isn't it? It's like, you really should just treat others how you wish to be treated. Like, I feel like that's so easy.
It is for people like us. And I think that I grew up in, as a child, I got badly bullied for being skinny and all the rest of it. So as soon as I got the opportunity to do this interview, I'm like, yes, because literally you are out there standing up for every single girl that's ever copped it from people judging them from what they look like.
Absolutely. I'm tired. Are you tired? I am.
Oh, I'm so. Well, I'm a little bit like you. I'm holding my middle finger up to the world and just kind of doing me anyway. I spent too many years beating myself up.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I know it sounds like really weird, but sometimes I even think about it from such a weird perspective. I'm like, we get so wrapped up in social media and, if we look cute or not, or if that's a good angle or, what people are thinking about us. But then you've got to stop and think like, the fact that we even have a life on this planet, which is just this big ass rock floating in the middle of this black space, like, isn't it crazy that we're even here in the first place? Why are we worrying about this?
And correct. And when you look at things, we were doing some stuff with Adam Whittington, which is PRC, Project Rescue. Yeah. So he's basically out there on the floor doing all these things. And you just kind of think to yourself, you complaining because, you haven't got many likes on a post or because your angles and your lighting isn't right. And there's children that are, being raped and murdered and tortured every single day. So it's kind of puts everything into bloody perspective.
Absolutely.
What's next for you? What's happening? Tell me, what's happening in your world? What's next for you?
Well, we're launching a business soon, which is really exciting. So it's because I feel like, our swimwear is just great. Our message is great with the swimwear. We have a really strong community. Not everybody feels comfortable in swimwear as well, which I totally understand. Whether you're a size 6 or a size 22, sometimes swimwear still isn't your thing, and I get that. So we actually have this private Facebook group called the Moana Army, and at the moment there's 10,000 girls in there, and every day myself and the Moana team are in there talking to girls and having fun with them, doing activities and stuff. And, for years they've been wanting to for us to do activewear. So we're actually just in the midst of preparing all that, and we're going to launch our own activewear brand soon to help, cater for the girls that don't want to wear swimsuits, but they still want to be a part of our message, and they just want to feel amazing and be comfy in their own skin. So that's coming up, which is being a total headache of anxiousness and excitement all at once, but it's going to be so worth it.
Yeah, I can imagine that you would have been planning this for a little bit longer than a few months, and COVID wouldn't have helped. Yeah. So what's it like as in surviving through this with COVID? Has that affected you?
No, not at all. Like, we're a really small team anyway at Moana HQ, but the only dramatic thing we had to do was social distancing with our desks. So we just had to do a little rearrangement. But I guess because everybody's online, we've been busier than ever, and we've got a bunch of new mini collections coming. We've just collaborated with a professional athlete as well. who really screams our message. So that's about to launch. And yeah, COVID hasn't really done a whole lot. We did have a meeting with our web agency when the COVID happened, and I said to them, you know what, challenge accepted. I'm going to take this negative and I'm going to turn it into something positive, and we're just going to, take it for all it's worth and turn it into something fantastic. And we have. So I'm really happy with our team.
Who's the superstar? You're going to tell us, or is it a secret?
I can't tell you yet, but you can wait a couple of days.
Okay, we'll wait a couple of days. God, all right, keep us waiting.
Not
cool. It's cool when you collaborate and you find people that are like-minded and that are interested in sharing your message. And it's hard. It's hard to find those types of people.
Yeah, we're really lucky. I mean, I see a lot of brands collaborating with I guess you could say influencers online that have millions of followers, but not that I know them personally, but they are just a pretty picture on the internet as well. Maybe they've got some vlogs on YouTube, but the person we found really aligns with our brand, and she screams everything like, our total message. So I'm really excited to launch that and show you guys, and it's like a dream come true.
You are literally living your dream, and your dream. It's amazing. Let me transition a little bit, because I love your message, and it is life-changing for some people. Some people will go onto your feed and then all of a sudden just decide, screw this, I'm actually going to get behind. Because that's what, as soon as I saw your feed, I was like, this is actually amazing. Like, I am going to stop looking at myself in the mirror and judging myself as harshly as I do.
Thank you. I love that so much. That makes me want to go do something on social media right now.
Yeah, well, I'm goosebumps again. Like, I'm not joking. I just look at myself and go, why am I beating myself up when people like yourself can just not care? Just not care. It's crazy.
It takes time. You get that.
Yeah. So what would you say to any young girls or boys that are struggling with body image?
I would just tell them, and I get asked this question a lot, and I used to say, just don't worry about it, just let it go. But, I really think that, to be very raw and open about it, I think that if you are struggling with your body image, or maybe you're getting bullied, no matter what your gender is, everybody deals with it at some point in their life. And I feel like it really is one of those things that takes time, and it's going to feel horrible for a little bit, but you're going to grow, you're going to mature, you'll surround yourself with different people, more like-minded people that'll build you up and won't necessarily bring you down. And I think once you find that circle of friends and you start to believe in yourself more and do see the bigger picture, like things you've touched on earlier, those little insecurities and people calling you names will totally fade away. And who knows, you might come out better and stronger. I mean, I know that I have, and I'm actually kind of grateful to be bullied back in the day, because I feel like I'm so much more of a boss now. I just feel more prepared.
Yeah. And look, I mean, for the people that are listening, it's not just about being overweight, is it? There's plenty.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everything.
Yeah. It's, for me, like I said before, it was skinny. And I know that there's other people that cop it because they're carrying a little bit more weight, or because they have skin conditions, or, it's something. So, I think I say to my kids, if they're picking on you for one thing, at least they're leaving you alone for the other shit.
Absolutely.
Oh, look, thank you so much. You are, honestly, you make my day. You are amazing. And whatever you're doing, we're going to be shouting from the rooftops, because we honestly, genuinely believe that you aren't just in it for the money. You are genuinely out there giving a shit about people's mental health and helping with that, because it isn't easy to get your body out all the time. And you are a person that I'm going to point everybody to, and my daughters are going to be watching this as well and saying, this is how you do life. This is how you show up in life. Karina,
thank you. How many daughters do you have there?
Say again. I've got 2.
Oh, great. Give them a big squeeze for me, please.
I will. Don't even go there, because they will lose it. I told them I was interviewing you today, and they were like, yeah.
Oh, I love them already. Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, and we are looking forward to having you back again, and we can hear all about the new business and the superstars that you're getting involved.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, gorgeous. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.